workers to get pay their just deserts. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Dr. Paul Hutchison.
Mr. Speaker, it's a pleasure to speak on this sleepover wages settlement bill. This bill is about the national government seeking and finding a practical solution to ensure caregivers for the disabled who sleep overnight are reasonably compensated for their work. And the national government has worked extremely hard and well with Idea Services, Tomato Ho and the Services and Food Workers Union to ensure that this will happen. It's a win-win solution for the caregivers, for their union and for the taxpayers and their government. Added to that, the caregivers will receive due back pay prior to Christmas, and by July 2013 minimum wages will have been phased in. Mr. Speaker, it is of concern, or should I say, that Darian Fenton can certainly not claim the high ground on this issue, because for 9 long years these workers have been under those conditions, and it wasn't until 2007 that the initial court case was taken. Now, Mr. Speaker, in many respects the disability sector is a Cinderella part of society. They are one of our most vulnerable parts, and often their advocacy powers are not as strong as many others. And I think we should all recognise this, and it is not a great situation for them to be in. There are in the order of 30,000 caregivers around New Zealand or more, and I understand there are about 3,700 caregivers in this particular group who are involved in sleepovers. And it was indeed a Levin disability worker who sparked the 4-year legal battle over pay. And Mr. Philip William Dixon is to be admired for his tenacity and courage. About 6 months ago at my electorate, I had about 10 workers come to me, and they pointed out just how arduous and how challenging their jobs can be. Separation from their families overnight, obviously at times highly complex cases without backup, and of course at times assisting with toileting, etc. And I just want to make one note that Mr. Paul Quinn has up in the gallery one of his constituents, caregivers who came to him, and I must say it is through their continuous and determined efforts that we finally have arrived at this bill tonight that has sought a practical solution, and I'm very glad to say it'll be in the Select Committee tomorrow. We'll hopefully be hearing submissions, and we'll bring it back to the House next week.
Called Grant Robertson.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and I am pleased